Hi, I'm Stuart Muir. Welcome to Higher Ground, the only show dedicated to finding common ground in the contentious debate over BC's natural resources. First up in news, the BC provincial government released new stats last week showing that BC's natural resource sector grew more than any other industry in 2013. According to the just-released 2014 Financial and Economic Review, natural resource GDP grew by 4.6% in 2013, making it the #1 growth sector ahead of finance, real estate, and trade. Let's look at the numbers. Over a decade, employment in mining and oil and gas led all industries, growing 233%. The total value of BC's resource exports in 2013 can fund the entire healthcare system for 239 days. That's enough money to pay for doctors, nurses, and hospitals, even bedpans, for 34 weeks. The value of BC's natural resource exports to the U.S. jumped 17% in 2013 to $11 billion. And finally, the province saw a whopping 30% increase in exports to China over the past 3 years. All good news, with more to come in 2014. The resource sector is set to invest over $8 billion in infrastructure and services. That's $1,700 per BC resident this year. A major setback last week for the Vancouver-based mining company Imperial Metals Corporation. The Canadian copper and gold producer suffered a massive breach of a tailings pond at the Mount Polley Mine in central British Columbia. The earthen dam containing the mine wastewater failed, releasing 10 billion liters of water and 4.5 million cubic meters of metals-laden fine sand, contaminating several lakes, creeks, and rivers in the Cariboo region. The damage to the surrounding area was substantial. Late in the week, the Premier with her Minister of Mines and the Minister of Environment held a community meeting in the area to release the first water test results.
A wide number of samples were collected and analyzed. We looked at pH, conductivity, turbidity, total suspended solids, dissolved solids, a suite of other things, E. coli, and dissolved metals. This is the first batch of samples. All results came back meeting the requirements for Canadian and BC drinking water standards. This is very good news.
The next step is to develop plans for the cleanup. The Bank of Montreal says the company can expect to be on the hook for hundreds of millions of dollars, about half going to cleanup, the other half going to damages likely to be paid out to the affected local communities. British Columbia's plans to pay for social services by fostering a new natural gas export industry hit an unusual obstacle last week. West Vancouver City Council voted to oppose the proposed wood fiber LNG plant in Howe Sound. This followed an impassioned presentation by Kitsilano resident Owen Finn, owner of a Howe Sound vacation property.
Liquefied natural gas is at minus 186 degrees Celsius. It has to be very cold in order to make it liquid. You warm it up above that, it boils off and turns into methane. And most people figured until this study was done that it just disappeared harmlessly in the atmosphere. It does not. What it does, it's so cold that it collects all the water vapor around it and hangs as a low fog to be blown wherever the wind blows. Whenever you pass one of these things, stay upwind, not downwind of these things.
After Finn told Council that the LNG plant would cause a 1,000-degree fireball and leave Howe Sound a marine desert, councillors rushed to endorse that viewpoint by passing a supportive motion. No other facts were considered before the motion was passed. But by Friday, the city's mayor was reversing course, telling the North Shore News that Council acted hastily and in a state of confusion. Other officials agreed. According to Councillor Craig Cameron, quote, "This is probably the only vote that I've been embarrassed about in 3 years on council," end quote. He said billion-dollar decisions can't be based on emotion. And now it's time for Speak Up, your chance to tell us how the resource industry benefits you, your family, and your community. Call us toll-free at 1-844-332-5012 and leave a voicemail that we might use on air. Or give us your contact information and we'll reach out to you and give you a chance to speak out on next week's Higher Ground. And that's it for Higher Ground this week. Make sure you visit our website at resourceworks.com, sign up for our newsletter, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For ResourceWorks, I'm Stuart Muir.